Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I am one of your hosts, Corey Derrigan. Alongside me, as always, is the PC muscle race himself, LeRon Dawkins.
What's poppin', everyone?
Also joining us in her fancy new headset, Stephanie Klimov.
I'm a legit gamer now. Woo.
Get it, girl.
Hashtag real gamer.
Hashtag, man.
Yeah. Hashtag. How's everyone doing? Everybody good? Everybody doing all right? LeRon.
Hashtag amazing. The Boston Red Sox beat. Oh my goodness. I already forgot. The Tampa Bay Devil beat. So I was like, oh no, I can't know. We're going against the Astros next. That's what I was gonna say. So I was psyched that the Red Sox will be moving forward.
Well, the Indians aren't beating anybody ever again. So, you know, it's well, the Indians won't even exist after this season. So they're going to be the Cleveland Guardians. There's a lot of Destiny memes popping up in the Cleveland area. So.
How about you guys? How's your night going?
It's great. You know, my kids are being acceptant of their bedtime. No screaming or whining at all. Nobody in my house is sick at all. You know.
Liar.
I know. Oh. No, I'm good. It's been a weird week cuz I turned in my notice at work on last Friday, and my last day is Saturday, and it's kind of been like a weird, bittersweet week, I guess, because I don't know. It's not that I dislike my job, but I'm really excited to move on and do something that I really want to do with my life, and you know, I'm excited to start this new job, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, I know I've said it before, but big congrats.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm going to be doing social media and web management for a IT company, and some side editing for videos and podcasts and stuff. So basically this, but someone's going to pay me for it.
Isn't it nice? Isn't it nice when you have a job that you really want to do and it's fun?
Yeah. Oh man.
That's why I love my IT job.
I'm telling you, man.
I get to be a nerd. I get to do nerdy stuff.
I mean, you already are a nerd. I think everybody just accepts that now.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I'm gonna eat my last Rice Krispies treat.
God, you're always eating on the podcast.
Well, it's my last one, so it's the only one you're gonna see me eat tonight. Actually, no. I can save that because I got these sour strips. I'm telling you guys, if you haven't gotten on these yet, y'all got to. You have to.
Wow.
Sour Strips candy. You can find them at Target. The blue raspberry ones. They're the best so far. Are the ones that are actually on the shelves.
Sour Strips, Target. I'm putting that in.
Sour Strips.
I always hear you talking about it.
Oh God, the Sour Strips are amazing. I got everybody on Crossroads turned on to them.
Well, of course you
did. Ed's onto them.
That's because Ed is the human garbage disposal. He just, everything you put in him, he will just eat it, and he'll be like, Ed is a walking, breathing Kirby. My iron stomach will just process this like it's, you know.
Right?
God.
Yeah, I mean, I have the appetite to eat or anything, but I'm telling you, I so much as have a slice of pizza. And not even the worst thing in the world, just cheese pizza, and then I'll be popping Tums and lying down with 4 or 5 pillows propped up because of the heartburn.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. I mean,
the heartburn game is real when you get older.
Oh, I look at pizza and I gain 10 pounds. To be it's crazy because we make fun of Ed for eating all this weird stuff all the time. He's not a big guy.
He's not. He's not.
Still small. I'm like, how? What's wrong with this human? Or what's right with this human? Why didn't I get this?
I'm telling you, when his actual adult puberty kicks in and that metabolism grinds to a halt, it's over. It's over. I don't care how much walking you do during the day. It's over.
I don't understand.
My ass. Okay, so check this out, right? Because I have a personal trainer. and
really
Monday,
didn't notice that.
Monday, this man whipped my ass. Because I had the nerve to tell him that I was 3 pounds overweight over my actual like goal weight right now. So Monday, we basically did one round, but it was basically a mega round. 25 burpees, 50 TRX squats, 50 push-ups, then another 50 burpees, another 50 TRX squats, 50 more push-ups, and then 25 more burpees.
This is why I don't have a personal trainer. I don't like to do that.
I don't understand. You know, I still question myself. Why am I paying someone money to do this to me?
I got married and had 2 kids, so I'm good. I don't have to do that anymore.
You know what? I'm
not gonna lie to like sometimes I do look at myself and I'm like, man, what did you do? What happened to you? I'm just like, oh, man. And the thing is like back to the Ed eating the entire world and just like, you know, wiping his mouth and being like, that was delicious. I'm gonna wash it down with a nice 2 liter of Mountain Dew or something.
Like Code Red Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Like for a month straight, I've skipped lunch because work. Like I just haven't been able to take breaks at work because we're so busy, and I still somehow managed to like not lose any weight or like I don't know. I'm just
well. What I've learned from my trainer is what happens is if you don't maintain your caloric intake, what happens is your body goes into overdrive with the fat storage mode, and it takes you forever to burn off what you think you should be burning off.
I know, but my point is, I eat like a quarter of what Ed does, and he's super small, and I'm super large.
Yeah,
and it's not like I'm like eating donuts for dinner, you know, like a dozen fattening donuts.
Speaking of a Dunkin' Donuts, opened like not even like 10 minutes driving distance from my place.
Nice.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Dunkin' Donuts. I don't.
Dunkin'. Yep.
The last time I think I was at Dunkin' Donuts was when I went to PAX a couple years ago. So.
Man, it's weird. I have a Dunkin' Donuts literally around every block. There's so many up here. It's like, I feel bored. No, and I'm just going to go the other way and try the other Dunkin' down the street.
Oh my God! Like the chat's animated after I put that call in about who wants to be on After Dark.
Well, everybody knows what's going to happen when you're hosting an After Dark show. It's going to get real colorful. So, well, I guess I could do this housekeeping if I could find it. Don't worry. I know what I'm doing sometimes. I promise.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So, anyways, this is the Boss Rush Podcast, the flagship show of the Boss Rush Network, where each and every week we get together with our friends from around the internet to talk about video games, entertainment, and everything we love about it. You can follow us on Twitter at Boss Rush Network or email the show at bossrushnetwork@gmail.com with your questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, or ideas. If you listen on iTunes, give us a 5-star review. You can watch us live on twitch.tv/the Boss Rush Network and on youtube.com/Boss Rush Network every Monday morning. And listen to us on your podcast service of choice. All right, guys, what are we doing with our lives? Are we playing anything fun? Are we watching anything? Are we, I don't know, working out? LeRon.
I think we're all playing the same game. I think we are.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we are all also playing the same game. So, I think.
Oh, we're all playing Sable?
No, I thought we were all playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
That was the other one.
Yeah, just I mean, I'm prowling around the island and getting my backpacks and stickers and stuff, you know.
No, but I believe you are correct. I think we're all making our way through Metroid Dread.
Yeah, Metroid Dread. As LeRon, we had a delayed start because LeRon couldn't counter an Emmy. I'm dead.
I was doing all right till I realized. Spoiler alert! I was doing all right until I realized the bastard was shooting ice beams at me.
Well,
and anybody that knows anything about Metroid knows that Samus has Metroid DNA in her system, and ice is wickedly dangerous to Metroids and as well as her now.
I mean,
I'm learning. Are you the closest one to being done with the game out of the three of us? I know I'm still.
Yeah, I'm getting very close to beating the game. I'm hoping I can have it beat. Well, I've already started a small draft of my review for the game because I want to have that up by Friday. So my fear is I probably want to have it 100% beat going into Friday morning when I want the actual review published. But I feel like I'm close enough to make a very well assessment of the game. I've unlocked all the biomes. I've seen practically almost all the regular bosses outside the Emmys.
I mean, I'm not one of those people that really thinks you have to finish a game to review it. You know, like.
No, but I'm also not trying to have someone come at me saying, "Oh, you're phony. You didn't even beat the game. How are you going to talk about it?"
I mean, those people just suck. You can just tell them to F off. You know, that's what I do. Although I don't even remember the last time I reviewed a game, so. Oops.
So I will say from my end, I have not, believe it or not, ever played a Metroid game. Ever. It just didn't happen. But, you know, the hype for this was just amazing, and I bought it without hesitation. I pre-ordered it, and, you know, I'm probably saying what's already been said in, you know, the other podcasts within our network, but I think it's incredibly beautiful. I love the cutscenes. It's smooth like butter. I almost forgot I was playing on a Switch. I was just waiting for it to stutter or something, and I haven't really encountered that yet. It can be wicked hard sometimes, but I don't know. I feel like it's a learning curve for me because this is a true Metroid game, so I can't just be running around not paying attention to where I am on the map and, you know, keep an eye for that red dot. So.
Yeah. I mean, if it makes you feel better, Stephanie, the only Metroid game I've ever played is the original. Like, okay. I've dabbled, I guess you would say, in most of them, but like, I don't like the Metroidvania genre. Like, I don't like the backtracking, being confused on where I'm at on the map because I'm dumb and can't follow where I'm at. And like, the only Metroid game I've ever finished is the original one, and the only one I played longer than an hour or so is the original Metroid. And so this was like what I said on Nintendo Power Block, the last episode of Nintendo Power Block. I said this really has a Dead Cells feeling for me, where like I don't like procedurally generated roguelikes, but this game has enough in it in terms of the movement and the combat. And I really like the map in this game. I think it helps me immensely trying to figure out where I'm at or where I need to go or where I've been. I know like the waypoint system, LeRon, I know we talked about it a little bit. That was it you or was it Jacob that said that you missed the waypoint system? I think it was you. It
was me.
Yeah.
It was me.
And I get that. I think a waypoint system would actually help this game a lot. It would help me a lot. But just in terms of the movement and exploration and the combat feels really good and really natural. And Stephanie, like you said, the game runs so smooth. Even in handheld mode, it runs at, I would say, close to 60. Like, it's a phenomenal playing game. It's a phenomenal looking game. It's Nintendo's best looking game, I think, on the Switch. I mean, as much as we give credit to like Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild, and those games look great, but like Metroid Dread is Nintendo's best looking game on the Switch. I will say that hands down. I think the enemy designs are cool. I think the boss encounters are really cool. I really like what's his face when he's chained up and he's like, and Samus is just standing there staring at him, and then you just shoot.
Being an absolute badass.
Yeah, you just shoot the rocket into his mouth. It's like, it's so cool, and the animations are so fluid. Even the little details, like when there's a little lip on the step, like going up into a new area, and she like puts her hand down to like climb up, or like when you're Like when there's like a hole in the wall that's a little bit too small for her to get through, and she just touches the wall to like peer into it or whatever, and like the wall jumps feel good. It's just the amount of detail and care that they took with this game. Like Mercury Steam, I know they've had a hit or miss record for a while, right? Like no, that first Lords of Shadow game that they developed was kind of split, right? I think most people liked it, but a lot of people just didn't really give it the Castlevania chance, right? Because it seemed like a God of War clone at the time. I know nobody liked the other two Castlevania games they did, and then obviously the last Metroid game they made was a remake, and it was like, well, it was good for what it was, but like they were remaking I would argue one of the least liked or played Metroid games, right? And it was super linear, and it was on the Game Boy, and they had to build something off the bones of a Game Boy game. So the fact that they pulled it off and did it this well, it shocked me how much I'm enjoying this game. So I love it.
I know, LeRon, you've been playing Metroid. You're a big Metroid fan, right? So,
oh yeah.
And I'm sure you've spoken to another podcast, but I'm curious about your just overall take about this compared to the other games, and do you think that the trajectory is now changed for Metroid and it's just gonna?
I would hope so, but the problem is okay, so let me answer the first part. As far as my feelings on this game, for the longest time, the only the major game in the Metroid series that I always had like the biggest affinity for was Super Metroid for the Super NES. Like it was one of those ones that I feel like it set the standard for Metroid. As a matter of fact, when they redid the original Metroid game for Metroid Zero Mission, it was basically a game that was updated with all the features and availability from what we had in Super Metroid. So it played like a completely different game, even though it was still like an old familiar friend. And then we had Metroid Fusion, which basically was the follow-up game to Super Metroid. And it still had those same mechanics and conventions and stuff like that. So we were used to that by then. So now we have Metroid Dread, because I'm skipping Samus Returns for the 3DS, because that was also a good game. But it was a 2.5D game, because of just the way like the maps and some of the things were going with that game. So but yeah, so we get Metroid Dread, and it's basically back to the original formula of a Metroid game. And right now, my honest take on this is like we finally have a contender that's probably going to knock Super Metroid off of a pedestal for me.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard this a lot, where people who love Super Metroid is like, this is the best Metroid game. This is the best 2D Metroid game. This is probably the best game in the entire series. You know, it's gotten a lot of high praise from people. Let's be honest, Nintendo fans are the pickiest fans, right? So the fact that they're saying this and it's getting such universal praise is just, I don't know. I always thought Samus was a cool character, even though I didn't care for the games, right? She's just, a really cool bounty hunter in a cool suit and some, giant orange shoulder pads that, take out whatever. But this, that's the thing too, is like the suit design in this game also is like killer.
Oh yeah. Like this is like the best. This is like the best. Well, I think what's cool about this is like this is the best version of her suit, because the Metroid Fusion suit, like that was something different, but we also knew that was something temporary because of like if anyone knows anything about the storyline of that, it was something temporary designed for the situation that she was in that one. Yeah. But this is like the first real refresh to her suit, and it's incredible. And honestly, the more I'm playing through the game, the more I'm realizing that this is the base version of her suit, because as she gets her updates, her upgrades, and all that stuff, she's going to wind up looking like the traditional Samus, except with a little bit sleeker.
Yeah, I think I think that's what I like the most, is that it looks sleek. The suit looks sleek, and yeah, it's like the change like in The Dark Knight when Batman gets the more agile suit so he can turn his head. Like that's, I know this is a dumb comparison, but like that's what it reminded me of like, this is a cooler sleeker,
Now-
more agile Samus that just looks like she can just tear apart anybody now.
Now, one thing I do like about the suit design, and I swear, like Mercury Steam, like they're doing some good stuff with Metroid. As a matter of fact, I hope they just keep like the 2D side of Metroid and let Retro Studio work on the 3D stuff for Metroid.
Mhm.
But one thing I honestly love, as a matter of fact, I'm looking at a still of her suit.
Mhm.
Like it's got like nanofibers, so it actually shows like it actually shows like it's supposed to be integrated into her body for
Like
it's
you're talking about the
body.
blue weaving underneath the shoulder pads and stuff, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. I like that touch a lot.
Like it's just I'm being a science fiction TV nerd when I see stuff like that, but it's so freaking cool, like
Nerd.
they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that. They could have just been like, okay, we're just gonna slap like regular like palette colors on her, and boom, that's what it is. But the level of detail they put into that, and whether it's in an actual cinematic scene or if it's actually live in game, you can see it. It stands out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Overall presentation is 5 out of 5 stars for me.
Yeah. It's definitely there's
a small preview of my review for anyone.
I can't wait to read it. I actually even call dibs on copy editing it. I want to read it before anyone else.
All right, I'll tag you specifically for it.
I thought
Yes.
about doing a video review for this game. That's how.
I'm already working on a video review.
Well, you have your own channel, LeRon, okay?
Exactly. Oh, okay, fine. Can we collaborate then? Can both of us work on it?
Maybe. We'll see. I'll have my people call your people. I have people now. But in all honesty, like this is as much as I love the Switch and love a lot of Nintendo games, this is the first Switch game that's really wowed me in a couple of years. It's just it's just one of the best game. And even if you're not a Metroidvania fan, I think you should definitely at least check it out if you have like a GameFly thing or a Redbox.
GameFly's still around?
I think, yeah. We have friends at show that still use it.
Wow.
Todd Oxtra from Secret Friends Unite. Shout out to them. Great show. Great podcast.
There's something I was gonna say, and then you threw me off with the whole GameFly thing.
Sorry. GameFly's still around. I mean, there's still a Blockbuster somewhere, right? So it's more of a museum.
Okay, I remember what it was now. Like in all my time owning a Switch, I think I can count on one hand like the number of games that have actually like just wowed me. Metroid Dread is just the most recent one, but Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, and that was another one that wowed me as soon as I turned it on.
Love that game.
And I'm probably going to say Astral Chain. I feel like Platinum Games, like you can give them a pile of dirt and they'll turn it into a masterpiece.
I don't know. Somebody gave them Ninja Turtles and turned it into a piece of crap. So
wait, what Ninja Turtles?
Mutants in Manhattan, dude, for PS4 and Xbox One.
That was them?
Yeah. And then they also did a Transformers game and a Legend of Korra game.
I didn't know Platinum did all these games.
Yeah, Transformers was okay. It was okay. But the Ninja Turtles game was not very good. And I was very disappointed because for people who have been following me for a long time, I love the Ninja Turtles, and anytime a new game comes out, whether it's bad or good, I will play it. And let me tell you, this was not one of the good ones.
So would you be mad at me if I told you that I'm going to play Metal Slug Tactics before I played the Turtles remake?
No, because I think Metal Slug Tactics looks awesome.
I'm just joking, by the way. I'm going to get both those games.
I mean, Ninja Turtles got delayed to next year, so.
And that's when Slug Tactics comes out.
I think Metal Slug Tactics actually comes out before Ninja Turtles now. So.
Oh, okay.
That Ninja Turtles game looks great, though.
Oh, it looks amazing. But why April O'Neil as the next character? Why Casey Jones?
I know. Where's Casey Jones, dude?
I just want to beat somebody into submission with a damn hockey stick.
Yeah, I bet Casey Jones will be a playable character. I bet Splinter will be a playable character. I bet they'll start adding characters.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they don't add the weird. So I need to preface this because I can feel the comment anger from the internet. But I am not opposed to a female Ninja Turtle. Okay, the one that's in the comic run right now, outside of the last Ronin, is very good. Right? That run is very good. She's a great addition to the team. But
because I don't read the comics. Like most of my Ninja Turtle knowledge basically is from the cartoon series, the various different ones.
Yeah.
Is she an actual sister or is she just an outsider?
She is an outsider. She was actually a human who got poisoned, and the only way they could heal her or like cure her was to use the ooze. And in doing so, they had to give her some sort of blood transfusion, and the only people that were around were the Ninja Turtles. And so mixing the ooze with turtle DNA turned her into a female turtle.
Okay. Is she a badass though?
Oh, she's cool. She can use all of their weapons.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wait, did she get transfused from all 4 of them?
No. No, but it's been a while since I read that run.
Is she Splinter's wife?
Hold on, I gotta look it up because
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to throw.
This is important.
I didn't mean to throw us.
No, her name is Janika, and she is the female turtle that let's see. I'm looking it up right now. I forget all of this. My point being while I look this up was as long as they don't add Venus de Milo from the weird Next Mutation show that was terrible, that ran for 1 season, although they did do a crossover episode with the Power Rangers and it was pretty awesome. But as long as they don't add her, I'll be okay.
This guy's a nerd. Called me a nerd on the show.
I did. Look, I'm very into my Ninja Turtles, okay?
Takes one to know one. We're just all nerds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, she's like this character was like a vigilante, right? And she didn't approve of Splinter's non-violent policies that he was enforcing on the Ninja Turtles, unless they had to, right? Like they were there to defend, not attack at will. And so she began to go out and take care of the Foot Clan when the Ninja Turtles wouldn't, because they're they're trying to defend. And when there's no problems, they're not going to go attack. She gets injured. She gets injured by the Rat King, and she gets taken in by the Ninja Turtles to heal up, and then she, turns into a turtle herself. And she can use all of their weapons. She's just does all kinds of things. She's cool. She's a cool turtle. She wears yellow, by the way. Very cool.
Wait. Oh, wait. I need to look her up. What was her name again? I want to see what she looks like.
Janika. Jennika. So.
Oh, so she's got a yellow bandana?
Yeah.
Okay.
So. She's cool looking. Oh, she also has like these weird Wolverine claws too that she uses when she's not using weapons.
Oh, I see them.
So.
Ooh.
Cool looking character.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a female. Yeah, it's a female turtle, so that's groundbreaking in my opinion.
Yeah. Not the first female turtle, but the best female turtle. So. Venus de Milo sucks. Throw that out there. Just look up.
Wait,
just look
up.
She
was a former member of the Foot Clan.
Yeah, she defected from them.
Oh damn!
And then because I think it's been a while since I read the comic, but I think she was betrayed by her squad or whatever, and so she defected and then started taking them out, and then she got injured. So. Anyways, Metroid Dread is very good.
Yes.
Also, Ninja Turtles looks great, and Metal Slug Tactics looks great. So.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Sorry, Stephanie. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I was just kind of throwing something, like I did something non-gaming, kind of expanded my horizons. I went and saw a movie last night. Felt weird to be back in the theaters. I saw the latest 007 movie, No Time to Die.
Was it good?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't go in with high expectations, to be honest with you, but I don't know. I liked it. I liked the villains in there, and the pacing was okay. And the ending, I didn't expect the ending that much. Even I knew it was Daniel Craig's last movie. I just didn't expect it to. I'll just leave that there. But it was very worth the 2.5 hours or however long it was. And the trailers also were great, which normally I'm not like, hey, I love the trailers in the movie I saw. But they showed Dune, they showed the upcoming Ghostbusters reboot, and Eternals. Not Return. I'm confusing it with the game.
Oh, the Marvel Eternals.
Yeah.
Yeah. I keep saying Returnal, sorry. Like, all those movies were shown there, those trailers, so it was a great time.
Cool. I want to see... Like, every time 007 comes out, my dad and I would go see it, but, like, with COVID and everything, it's like... We haven't been able to, so we're, like, trying to wait, and we might go see it next week when I'm off, but, like... I don't know. It's 007 is always something that my dad and I have bonded over, and we were all ready to go see it last April when it was supposed to come out.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited to see this movie.
Yeah, I'd like to know what you think when you guys see it eventually.
Yeah. I'll definitely talk about it when it happens. Anybody else doing anything interesting with their lives besides playing video games?
Honestly, that's it. Like I've been gaming and just
nerd.
Gaming and writing
doing 25
and
burpees and 100 push-ups and 1,000 sit-ups and swinging on chandeliers. I don't know what you're doing. All this crazy workout stuff.
Yeah. Always, although I don't think he's been working out as much because he wore sleeves today. So I just, he's hiding the non-defined muscles.
Oh no!
Sorry, LeRon. I had to.
It's just an off night. Like all my tank tops need to be washed.
They're so sweaty from working out. Cut off.
Yeah, I also need to update my tank top and muscle shirt collection because 56 episodes of Crossroads, so many episodes of Boss Rush podcast, so many appearances on Pow Block. Pow Block is also the only other time when I wear sleeves too because I gotta respect the family oriented. The family friendly content there. Can't have soccer moms and all that stuff like catching the vapors and whatnot. Like, oh, is this what you're watching? And then all of a sudden, their kids are no longer watching Power Block because they're watching Power Block. I don't know why I just tried to gas myself up like that. I'm nothing special.
Well, collection. You said collection.
I mean, I have a...
DVDs are a collection, okay? Vinyl is a collection. Amiibo are a collection.
Okay,
These are shirts, LeRon.
Okay, so my wardrobe of tanks and muscle shirts. How about that?
Next week I want to see, like, you're retiring these 3 sleeveless shirts, and I want you to shadow box them behind you on your wall above your bed.
Yes, please do that.
Like people when they, like, have signed sports memorabilia and they hang it up on their walls and stuff. It's just LeRon's old
Or maybe LeRon can just sell these old ones unwashed to maybe some fans and get some revenue that way.
Might not be a bad idea, actually.
Yeah, they'll open the box and be like, scent of LeRon.
I don't know. Isn't that how people make? Isn't that how people make voodoo dolls of people and stuff like that? They get like the I don't know, like the essence of somebody.
Ooh, that's
And
creepy.
exactly, yeah. I'm like, oh. I understand there's a market for selling like used clothes, and some people don't even care if it's like slightly used or ran through. Corey's got this look on his face now.
I don't know. I'm concerned. I just, LeRon, if you need help, just blink twice, okay? I don't. Oh man. So what are LeRon, we're gonna go your way first. What is your topic for tonight?
Okay. All right. So actually, wait a second, because I had it written down. And I didn't commit to memory. It's been a busy week for me. Okay. Oh crap. Hang on.
Oh my gosh.
Why did I forget about this? No, for real. Like I actually had a topic. I'm trying to figure out where's that notebook I had.
Man, it's a good thing
Okay,
Stephanie's here because you're just LeRon, you're disappointing a lot of people tonight. You forgot your topic. You're wearing sleeves.
I was playing Metroid
Delayed
and
the
delayed the show.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I remember what it was now. Okay.
Good.
And it can work. And it can work in the realm of gaming as well as movies, TV shows, and things like that. What is a easy way to wind up with franchise fatigue?
Wow, that's a good question.
Yeah. Now I know this. Like when it comes to television and movies, just basically an overabundance of every, like for example, like a TV series. Let's look at like this, like Chicago. We had Chicago Fire on NBC, right? That show ran for a couple of seasons on its own, and then like one year, all of a sudden there was like 3 other Chicago shows that just popped up, and they all were intertwined with Chicago Fire. And I'm not saying that show has franchise fatigue or whatnot, but it's one of those ones I can think of where like a show, one show is so good, all of a sudden it gives birth to like 2 or 3 other shows at the same time. Video games also do it. Like I believe there was a very bad like franchise fatigue. Well, there's franchise fatigue with for sure for Call of Duty, with certain aspects of Call of Duty. Assassin's Creed had very bad franchise fatigue.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed like immediately popped up the top of my list there.
Yeah. So like, just give me some thoughts and opinions on what can ultimately drive things to franchise fatigue, because sometimes franchise fatigue is just like a TV show or a movie series is running too damn long. Like we've got another Halloween movie coming out this Friday.
Yeah. No, keep going.
Oh no, I was just saying, like there's different ways to wind up franchise fatigue. Sometimes people will eat up like 17 trillion iterations of the same TV show, and other parts, like one of my favorite TV shows, Supernatural, went off last year. 15 seasons. Like I've been watching that show since day one. Like when it first started. Like I wound up with a little bit of franchise fatigue, even though it's still one of my favorite shows to date.
Yeah. I think when you have I think when something is really consistent coming out in terms of like, maybe consistent's the wrong word, but like yearly or bi-yearly, and especially in gaming, right? Like we used to get games in the same franchise every 12 to 24 months, right? Like I remember on Xbox 360, like we would get a new Halo game like every year, right? Starting with Halo 3, and then you got Halo 3, ODST, Reach, Combat Evolved, Anniversary, Halo 4, Halo Wars, all in a span of like 5 years. And it's like, I get it. I like Halo a lot, but I wanna play something else, and like it was the same with Gears, right? Where Gears 2 and 3 came out within 18 months of each other, and then 18 months later, Gears Judgment came out, and I'm like, I get it. I love Gears. I played the crap out of Gears 1. I got that seriously achievement, and it was the greatest, one of the highlights of my gaming life at that time, right? Because it just the way the multiplayer was set up, that achievement was really difficult to get. But like, man, it's just like and I think that's where people, especially on the Xbox side of things, are like, Xbox only has these games, right? Like look at Forza, for example, right? That game comes out every year.
Yep.
This was like, last year was the first year we didn't get a full Forza game since, I think, Forza Motorsport 3, because then Horizon and Motorsport alternated every year. So, but we still got the Lego expansion for Forza Horizon 4 last year. So it was still like a major Forza release last year. And it's like, man, this is just like, it's a lot. And I think that when games do that, or when, I mean, look at Marvel too, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? Like, there's no denying what they were able to do with those first 23 movies or whatever was historic, right? Historic. But like, you get a movie every 2 months, 3 months, like, it starts to wear on you. And like,
Yeah.
I like, when Endgame came out, like, I was excited to go see Endgame, but I was also excited for it to be like, this is the end for a while for me, because this is, I'm just excited for this to be over.
So you haven't caught Shang-Chi yet?
No, I just watched Black Widow the other day.
Okay.
And
I think that's a really great point, Corey, because I'm a huge Marvel fan, and I got all the way to Endgame, was psyched, and I still love Marvel, but I legit had the fatigue where I just couldn't latch on to any of the TV shows. Like, I tried a couple episodes, and the reason why I didn't keep watching them wasn't because I didn't like the show. I just lost that appetite for it, which, since you brought up Shang-Chi, like, for me, when I first heard that movie was announced, I like went batshit, and like, I was so excited, like,
Yeah.
yay, Asian representation. Like, I was telling my mom about it. Mom doesn't care, but I was like, oh no, look. But at the same time, believe it or not, and I'm ashamed to say, but I have not seen it yet. And it's not for lack of not being interested in the topic, in the actor Simu Liu. I love him. I don't know. There's that invisible fatigue that maybe I'm not as eager to be there on day one to watch it, which is unfortunate, but yeah.
Yeah, I haven't caught Shang-Chi either, and I'm shocked, because I always catch the Marvel movies like when they're out and available. So I'm shocked too. And the sad part is that it actually sets up for the Eternals, and so now I have this thing where I'm like, I need to hurry up and watch this, because I do want to see Eternals.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I remember watching a Marvel movies trailer where they kind of, displayed all the next set of movies that'll be coming up.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, yeah, I do need to get caught up, because there's like another Spider-Man, another Thor, another Guardians.
Yep.
Blah blah blah. So there's more coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing I'll say that kind of leads towards franchise fatigue, and sometimes it's inevitable. Sometimes, like, franchise fatigue can happen when, like, certain actors, like, leave the series, whether they get written out, the characters, or the actors just quit, or something major happens. Like, people get franchise fatigue because sometimes like, certain characters and certain actors are what's kind of the glue that keeps the audience there and stuff like that. Like, I know for sure, like when we talk about Marvel, for example, I guarantee you they're probably not going to have a lot of comeback viewers for people who are like had like a lot of affinity for Robert Downey Jr. and Tony Stark. Like, there's going to be people who are like, oh, Chris Evans is no longer here. Like, what are we going to do? You got one more Thor movie with Chris Hemsworth, and then that's it. It's Lady Thor after that.
Yeah, and another example of that is The Office, which is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. And while I still think the final few seasons were okay, like, they're fine, but I just feel like there was a big turning point when, Michael Scott left.
Yeah.
That was in like crap season 7, 8. I no. Anyway, I can't remember right now. But when he left, I feel like a good bulk of the fans still watched it, but maybe there was just less enthusiasm, or when people always speak fondly about the show, they speak fondly about during the Michael Scott era.
Yeah.
I should say.
Yeah, I mean, The Office is definitely like, and now it's come back around, right? Like, it's hit that point where like it's been gone for long enough, and now this next generation of people are watching it, and it's like, I also think that the era of binge watching things maybe has, contributed to the fatigue of certain things, right? I think the way that like Netflix kind of drops things, or I don't know. I like the way that Disney Plus and Apple do it, where it's like weekly, 10 or 12 episodes a piece, like.
Netflix, I think Netflix has gotten themselves in trouble with that because when the Netflix originally did it, they did it to get as many subscribers as quickly as possible.
Right.
But
also Netflix at the time was the only thing around, right? Except for maybe like the adolescence of Hulu, I guess, too. But like Netflix was like the cable killer. We're going to subscribe to Netflix and we have everything right here that we need, and we can watch it all at once, or we can watch 1,000 different things within a day. And now you have Disney Plus, you have Apple, you have Peacock, you have Hulu and Paramount Plus and Joe Schmo's streaming machine. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different streaming services that like, it's like you just have cable. Like
the problem with Netflix though is the fact that they back themselves into a terrible corner, because what happens is, like, for example, House of Cards is honestly what started this whole thing, in my opinion. So like they dropped the entire season. People can run on there, binge watch it, do whatever, and typically what happens is people they watch what they want, and then they immediately drop their subscription until like the next season or whatever came out, like that. So Netflix, the company, gets whiplash because they don't know how many true viewers they have. They don't know, because like I feel like sustainability is always the best way for your business model and stuff like that. But if you have like an upswing of like millions of viewers like one week, and by the next week those same million of viewers are gone because like they got their fill out of what they wanted, like, and heaven forbid, like everybody's like creating like 17 trillion new email addresses just to get 7-day trials and stuff. Yeah, and then here comes Hulu. Hulu picks and chooses when they want to drop entire seasons of something and when they want to do it week by week, and that's cool because they're playing this game that basically is like it's like you're watching a kid hop over a fence, run into the neighbor's backyard to sock the other kid in the mouth, and then he runs back and hops back over the fence. And then Disney Plus shows up, HBO Max, all these stuff. They're doing a traditional week by week formula, which is keeping their viewers locked in. And Disney Plus I feel like is doing it the best, because every time something I care about goes off, next week something new starts, and I'm like, oh, I can't unsubscribe.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, I really liked the Disney, like the Disney Plus Marvel, and those Marvel shows, and I really like The Mandalorian. Like those are shows that I'll continue to watch. Like I thought I was done with Marvel for a while, and to be fair, I think I still kind of am. But like the only reason why I think I watched WandaVision is because my wife wanted to watch it, because my wife grew up watching old sitcoms like that. And it really had her interested in watching that, because every episode was based on a different era of sitcoms. And I was like, okay, well, let's watch it. And then I got invested watching it, and it actually ended up being like one of my favorite Marvel things. And then obviously Falcon and the Winter Soldier, LeRon, you and I have talked about this. It was just like your standard kind of grounded military, like Captain America sequel, basically. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was really good. Right. But like the one I was like really hesitant to watch was Loki, and it's like it's weird. Loki was like the one like really the first time I was like, Marvel's getting weird. Like this is going further.
Marvel wasn't weird with freaking Guardians of the Galaxy.
I mean, I thought Guardians of the Galaxy was weird. I'm one of the few people who like doesn't really care about Guardians of the Galaxy. Like
I feel like Guardians 1 is a better movie than Guardians 2.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. Guardians 2 is not good at all.
Yeah,
I don't think Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is good.
But I'm also that weird guy that thinks there's nothing wrong with Thor not Ragnarok. I'm sorry, Thor Dark World.
I've only seen it like one time, so I don't know.
I feel like Dark World is better than Thor 1.
I'm also one of the weird people who actually really likes Iron Man 2 a lot. So
you terrible person, you.
I know. I'm horrible. I also really like Captain America: The First Avenger, which apparently nobody likes too. So.
Hey, that was a good movie.
It is.
That was a good movie, but then again, you know, like just like how like the male population is in love with Ryan Reynolds. Like I'm in love with Chris Evans. So you know, I've seen damn near even his flops. I've seen his movies.
Knives Out. Knives Out. Have you seen Knives Out?
Knives Out. I have seen.
Oh, it's very good. It's on. I think it's on.
It.
If you have Amazon Prime, it's on there. It's very good. So.
Yeah, I totally nerded out on that movie for multiple reasons, and a lot of it was filmed in Massachusetts, where I live. And one was at a bar where I would literally go to every weekend. Well, not at the time they were filming, but like in the past, I'm like, holy shit, I drank there, and Chris Evans is there.
Him in his sweater. So I don't remember where I was going with that. I was reminiscing about all the things that I've watched in the last year, but also,
keep finish. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say also like, I think sometimes like, there's so much of like the Marvel and the Star Wars and things that like, especially in the space that we kind of occupy with these podcasts and streaming and stuff, like we're expected to watch everything all the time and not deviate. That sometimes like all it takes is a palate cleanser to refresh yourself too, right? And I kind of forgot to palate cleanse, you know, because like I'm not a big movie guy, right? Like I don't go out of my way to watch movies or anything, like even new movies. Like there's very specific things I'll go watch, but I think this past 3 months or so, I've been watching Ted Lasso, and that is the ultimate palate cleanser to what Marvel and Star Wars and Disney is doing on Disney Plus, or what HBO, Warner Brothers and HBO are doing on, you know, with their stuff. And it's just like, not everything has to be like superheroes or laser swords or blowing shit up, or, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you just need something different. And I kind of forgot about that. Or like I've been watching a lot of NFL games too, because like obviously football's back, and you know it's kind of exciting when the Browns are good sometimes. But like that's also, I'm using that as like a really good palate cleanser to this, you know, and it's like sometimes that's all you need is a palate cleanse. So
and in the timing of football, I mean, I'm primarily a baseball fan, but being able to keep track of the amount of baseball games is kind of exhausting. And one thing I love about football season, it's nice, clean. Well, I mean, if you want to watch all the games, then it's more frequently. But I just follow the Patriots, so for me, it's once a week. That's where I get my palate cleanse.
Yeah, I'll watch the Browns, and I'll usually watch the Sunday and Monday night games. I'm not that person that has to go and watch like every single game, but like before I go to bed, like I'll turn it on and fall asleep while I'm watching the Sunday night game or the Monday night game. It's just a nice palate cleanser. So
yeah,
I think we all need to remember a nice reminder that palate cleansing is also nice. Because like I think it's a good example, I think, is my wife and I well, right before The Rise of Skywalker came to Disney Plus, we re-binged all of the Star Wars movies. And by the time we got to Rise of Skywalker, it was like, man, I'm so burned out on Star Wars. It's like, and I'm a sequel trilogy defender. I really like those movies. I think The Rise of Skywalker probably should have been 2 movies to get all that information in, but like, I like those movies. But like by the time we got to that 11th movie, it's just like, Jesus, I'm so tired of this. I just want it to end.
Right?
I just want to see what happens. I want to see why the Emperor is in this stupid movie, and
and they mishandled that so badly.
Yeah, I kind of like I kind of wish they would have like gone in with like a plan. You know, I mean, I know the original trilogy didn't have like this laid out plan, and I know the prequel trilogy was like.
Wait! I'm so glad you said that, because every time I mention that, like people come at me because I'm a Star Trek fan, and I'm like, no, I'm just a writer.
You really think George Lucas had Luke kiss his sister in the second movie,
yeah, exactly.
and then he was like,
"Oh, what the fuck was going on?
I knew it the whole time. They were related, so I made them kiss each other." I was like, "Well, you just have other issues.
You're a fucking pervert. That's what you are."
So, like, I mean, there was no plan, but like,
there was not.
At least the trilogy.
That's honestly why it starts with episode 4. Like, because like I remember I remember being a kid and seeing, I was like, episode 4, and I immediately turned around and asked my dad, like, are there other movies? And he's like, no.
Yeah. Well, like we had the original VHS tapes, and A New Hope doesn't say episode 4 at the beginning of A New Hope. It just says Star Wars.
No, okay. Well, I'm old enough to remember when it actually said episode 4 on VHS. No, like, yeah, there was a time.
I know there is a version that says episode 4, but we had a version of it that didn't say episode 4.
Oh, so they saved you a lot of confusion.
Yeah. And I think I watched Return of the Jedi first, but that's
dang.
To be fair, I was little,
I know.
I didn't really understand.
Everybody was super young back then, so they a lot of movies were probably seen out of turn.
But like, I think like the difference between the original trilogy not having a plan and this new trilogy not having a plan is that nobody knew nobody knew that Star Wars was going to be as big of a hit as it was. And I think he kind of wrote the sequels by the seat of his pants so he could get them out faster. And 30, 40 years later, when you put out a sequel trilogy to one of the most beloved trilogies in film history, you should probably lay out at least an outline of like this. These are the events that need to happen. This is, we need to have kind of one mind in charge. And I don't know if Kathleen Kennedy is the person to do that or not, but like, I don't know. Those movies just felt so incoherent to each other. They felt like 3 very standalone films with the same characters in it.
I feel like Kathleen Kennedy gets a lot of flack because it's like when let's look at politics, for example. Like, look at how people are acting right now because we no longer have 45 in office. Like, they don't want to acknowledge 46 at all, and I think this is what happens with a lot of just our set media, Like, for example, when we heard that if George R.R. Martin dies, like, someone has to finish the 7th book, and people are anxious about that.
It's like Tom Clancy books are still coming out, and he's been dead for a decade.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, somebody's ghost writing for him, clearly, or taking his ideas and making them cohesive stories.
Yeah, so I feel like the whole Kathleen Kennedy thing, I feel like she's getting a little too much. I feel like she's getting a little too much flack, But it's because at the same time, J.J. Abrams is the reason why like this stuff got greenlit.
Well, I think The Force Awakens is a perfectly well done first film in a new trilogy.
You mean the movie that basically copied exactly episode 4?
Yeah, but I think I think in terms of the ways the prequels turned out, that first movie had to be a safe movie.
I 100%
I think it had to be enjoyable and safe, right? Like,
I do.
I mean, yes, there's a lot of parallels you can make to A New Hope, right? Including the giant Death Star planet thing in the trench run, right? Especially. But I think even though it was derivative and safe, it was still a really good film. And then they followed it up with Rogue One, which is arguably one of the best Star Wars movie that Disney's done, right? So, wow, LeRon, you could have just said that out loud.
Okay, it got a little too nerdy in here. Let's go ahead and close my topic.
I just want to finish it up by saying, like, I think those first two movies that Disney did were super well done. I still like The Last Jedi, even though it doesn't really feel cohesive with Force Awakens. I liked Solo. I think Solo is a fun movie.
The Last Jedi was a mess. Oh my god.
I don't think it was. I think it was fun. Except for the part where Princess Leia gets sucked out into space and then she comes back using the Force. Like that. So my problem was with that was that movie came out after Carrie Fisher passed away, right? And I know they wanted to respect her as an actress and the character and everything, but to me, that was your out to, like,
so
if you're gonna
write Leia out of the series.
Yeah, if you're gonna, because like obviously their plan was to kill one character per movie, like that you could have saved Luke's death for the last movie, then.
Yeah.
And like I know that sounds very disrespectful and whatever, but like all in all, this is a multi-billion-dollar franchise you're talking about that has incredibly passionate fans, right? That like 1.5 of the 11 movies. Like this was the time to write her out. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I think you could have gotten away with that, and you could have just like through press releases or whatever said, this is why we did this. Like, this is, we respect Carrie Fisher and what she did for this franchise and everything. But like, this is what we had to do to make the next movie work and the trilogy come to a close. So,
right.
Because talk about incohesive, those weird scenes with Carrie Fisher in Rise of Skywalker, where all she did was like, they had the same shot of her hugging Rey, like, 75 times because they didn't have any other footage of her. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
So anyways, we'll wrap that topic, but that was a good topic. Great topic, yes. LeRon.
Finger snaps.
So. Yeah, I'm sorry it wasn't on the top of my head. Like, I wrote it down earlier while I was at work. I had a long work day, so I wrote it down because I knew like somewhere along the course of the day I was going to forget about it, and then I forgot where I put my notes.
Stephanie, what is your topic?
It's all right. I've learned from LeRon's mistakes, and I pulled up my topic on my phone because I was going to forget if I didn't. Do you guys like stealth games or segments of stealth in a game? And give some examples of some that you love or hate.
Oh, gosh.
Thanks to Metal Gear Solid, I like segments of stealth. I do not like full stealth games. Which is why I'm definitely enjoying like Metroid Dread. Like it's giving me enough that I have to be stealthy, but at the same time, it's not how I need to play the game. Because I mean, I've gotten to a point now where I can actually fight them bastards off if they grab me. So sometimes like I'll see the radar pinging all over the place. So I'm just like, fuck it, I'm just running.
just run, just run. I mean, I guess it kind of depends on the game. Like I really enjoyed the first Splinter Cell game, even though I had never played any other game after that. I think the way that certain games do segments of stealth, like I think those early Assassin's Creed games are very hit or miss with those, mostly leaning towards the miss side, right? When you have to like follow someone through the grass, and you have to not get caught, but you can't really have a 360-degree view around you. So even if the people you're following can't see you, someone behind you might see you, or you have to like assassinate somebody that's watching you while you're following. And then if you make too much noise, right? It's just, I think Assassin's Creed 3 and Black Flag were two very big. That was a very big detriment to those games, and I don't like that kind of things. Like trailing people, I think really sucks in games. But then there's games that do it really well, like Dishonored. I think does it really well if you play that way. I think Splinter Cell and Metal Gear are obviously huge franchises based on that mechanic, even though Ubisoft doesn't want to make a Splinter Cell game anymore. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not like a big stealth fan, but when it's done right, there's always like an exception to the rule, right? Like we talked about earlier with, I don't really care about Metroidvanias, but Metroid Dread is like one of the best games I've played all year. So maybe I do like Metroidvanias. I've just let fear conquer my gaming habits.
But this game's helping you get over that fear.
It is. Till an Emmy comes at me and I'm just running for my life.
Well, I mean, you guys heard me before we started the show. I was like, oh god, oh god, oh god. No, fucking, I'm fighting him. I think I was going back and forth from like, oh god, I'm gonna die, to like, no, I'm fighting this bastard.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit, he's got ice beams. I can't fight him.
Man, wow. What about you?
That's broken. I'm sorry. That's broken.
You just have to get good, LeRon.
Yeah, you need to take some time away from the game and come back to it refreshed and not angry.
That's why I'm on this podcast right now.
For me, I honestly didn't think about stealth as a mechanic until much later. I mean, I had a very simplistic start to gaming where I was into adventure games like Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, where it had like this very tiny segment of sneaking past the castle guards to get to Princess Zelda, and it's very simple. That mechanic is just don't let them see you. And just other games like so fast forward to 2018 or something, I forget what year, but a friend heavily insisted on The Last of Us remastered. And I know it's technically not a stealth game, but it's a game where you have to choose to either go in guns blazing or take out things silently. So although not purely a stealth game, that I struggled very much so in the beginning because I'm used to like, oh, a bunch of zombies, let's just pop them off in the head, and usually I'll end up getting my face ripped off by a clicker. And in that case, the clickers, they detect you by the sound that you make. So it was new for me to experience it. I have to walk very slow. I have to crouch. I have to throw a empty soda can across the room. It was definitely a different pacing, but I actually grew to like it depending on the game,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like you said, it depends on the game, and it depends if the mechanic is done well, right? There's times like I feel like, man, what's a good example of like stealth in a game that just really sucks? I don't know, like when you have to like sneak past cameras or lasers or something, and like it's like almost impossible to get through without it. Like there's in some games there's like clearly like a I don't know. There's like a way to sneak through a hallway, and like it's damn near impossible to do it because of cameras or like I know in GoldenEye there's a mission where you have to shoot all the cameras, right? And there's one that's like always hiding, and if it sees you, like the alarm will go off, and then you have to fight like 5 million guys. This is on like one of the higher, like double agent or whatever, 00 agent or whatever. And like there's this one part where there's 2 cameras, right? And you have to like know the level so well so one of them doesn't see you, because they'll turn like almost at the same time, and you'll have to like take them both out within maybe like 2 or 3 seconds of each other, or it'll see you. And it's like, man, this is not fun. This is not a mechanic that's fun. How did this get past Nintendo QA or whatever, right? Like I don't know. But then you get games like, I would say something like Splinter Cell that does it so well, to make it fun and interesting, and with gadgets and the night vision and hiding in the grass, or taking people out and hiding them in lockers or freezers or whatever. And it's like, this is fun. This is what stealth should be. And again, it depends on if it's done well, if the mechanics are fun or interesting. Because if it's not done well, it could ruin the game.
Yeah. Has anyone played Origami?
No.
Okay. All right, I can't speak too much to it.
Is it a stealth-based game?
Yes. Almost completely stealth-based. And I know that the sequel came out, and I don't know why they made a sequel, because it seems like not many people are very familiar with it. Let me just see if I can find it.
I think it's on Game Pass, actually.
It's on Game Pass.
Yeah, it says Origami is an action-adventure stealth video game. And, whoops, my screen reloaded. That casts you as an undead assassin with the power to control the shadows, teleport to any shadow, become invisible, materialize weapons, and summon a shadow to infiltrate the enemy ranks and dispose your targets. I don't know, I didn't really get... I had a couple of friends that really didn't speak too highly of that game, but I guess I shouldn't, trash it unless I play it, What else was I going to say? Oh, I can't remember. Someone say something while I think about what I'm trying to remember.
So here, Corey, would you say like the first Splinter Cell was your favorite of all like the stealth genre games?
I mean, yeah, just because I don't go out of my way to play stealth games. I mean, I think Assassin's Creed, like those early Assassin's Creed games, I really like, but I don't know if you would really call them stealth games. Maybe that first game is like a stealth light game, because they have the crowd hiding mechanic, or like hiding in the bushes, or up in the towers with the the same building with like the little towels hanging on them, and you're just like, oh, I'm jumping in here, oh, they can't find me, that kind of thing. And like stealthily taking out the bosses in that game was a really interesting, fun way to kill them. You didn't have to do it that way, but trying to do it that way and actually getting it was a really fun thing. And actually you get achievements for doing it that way on Xbox. So I would say that for Splinter Cell 1 or Assassin's Creed are probably my favorite stealth games. A series I've never played that I really want to is Metal Gear Solid. But with I've never played, because I want to.
I haven't either.
I mean, I want to play the first game, but it's stranded on things that I don't own currently.
You can get it. There's a PC version of it.
Oh, is there? Well,
yeah, I believe it's on GOG.
PC, man, nobody plays PC games.
Hey,
nerd.
LeRon has left the chat.
But which is funny because I actually own Twin Snakes for GameCube, so I guess I could probably technically play that.
Never played it.
I don't know. The only time I ever played Metal Gear was Metal Gear Solid 2, the Metal Gear Solid 2 demo that came with Zone of the Enders, the tanker mission, and it was really weird and really fun. And then I never bought the game. So, but that's a series that I would really like to play. But with the rumors of that first game being remade at some point, I kind of just want to wait. So
right.
Just because like when games get remade, I feel like that's like the best way to play them. Like with Resident Evil 2, like I never played Resident Evil 2 because I don't do scary games, but like I love Resident Evil, the first game, the remake for GameCube, I would say. I love that first game, and it's not scary to me because it's a puzzle game. But like playing the remakes of 2 and 3, I'm just like no, pass, hard pass for me. But I'm the weird person that liked 5 and 6 because they were more action oriented of Resident Evil. So like, I don't know. I know people don't like Resident Evil 6 for some reason, but I kind of liked it because it felt like Gears of War almost. So.
Well, makes sense. You liked it for the action, and I think most Resident Evil fans just don't want Resident Evil for that reason.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
No, and I can totally separate that, right? It's the same with LeRon, you're playing through the Dead Space trilogy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like 1 and 2 are drastically different games than 3, which is why like it's not that Dead Space 3 is a bad game. It's just not what people want from a Dead Space game.
Yeah.
And you know, that's I think I am able to separate, like, yes, this game is good, but it's not what people want from this franchise. You know, so it's like when Assassin's Creed went into an open world RPG that has no assassinating in it whatsoever. And I like that. I love, like, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is probably in my top 10 favorite games of all time.
Oh, okay.
It's so good. But like, there's no Assassin's Creed anything in it whatsoever. It's just an open world action RPG that takes place in ancient Greece. But I'm okay with that.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say now. Hitman, that's what I have a love-hate relationship with as far as stealth. So I've been playing through Hitman 2 because there's another podcast that's been doing it episode by episode, and I want to compare scores. And technically, you don't need to be the perfect silent assassin to play the game. You can do whatever you want if you just want to shoot your target point blank and then get bullets rained on you, fine, as long as you make it out alive. But, the kind of what attracts people to Hitman is to try to find the most creative and usually silent way to assassinate your targets, right? Mm-hmm. And I like the options, but sometimes it's just super hard. You got to find the right, super user outfit to dress up as. And, maybe I just suck at video games, but I remember one particular level, like in Colombia, I needed to get the mechanic's wrench. And I don't want to kill nobody. I don't want to kill the mechanic, but his wife would always like turn around at that moment, and I had to push her off. And then there was someone who saw me do that. And then if you get spotted by the cameras, you got to make sure that you go to the room and destroy the evidence before you leave the game. So even though being stealthy isn't 100% required for the game, I almost got frustrated because I wanted to get the best score possible, but there were just so many factors. I don't know. That's
actually the one thing that ticks me off about the Hitman series, is why I really don't play it. Yeah. Because trying to check every mark off, like that's the part that makes it for me tedious and frustrating.
All right, well, I'm glad I'm not the only one that feels that way. I feel like that's kind of what gets me, and I don't know. I quickly just kind of lost interest, and I'm at the second to last mission, and I just didn't finish it.
Going back to our topic last week about rage quitting.
Oh, yep. Yeah, that was it.
I think for me, Hitman is a franchise that I enjoy watching people play more than I like playing. Because, every year, Giant Bomb does a thing around their Game of the Year content that they do. That one of their things that they do is called Hitsmas. And what they do is, they put a bunch of Hitman-related things in hats, and they'll draw, you have to play this level with this outfit and this set of weapons, right? And they draw the weapons out of a hat, and they draw the outfits out of the hat, and they have to try to finish the level without getting caught with these items. And it's really fascinating to watch. Sometimes it takes 45 minutes, sometimes it takes 3 hours for them to do this, but it's really fun to watch people play Hitman, especially people who are good at it, and they know they know the maps, they know everybody's routine, they know how to distract certain people. It's just the way that the systems work in Hitman is really fascinating, almost to the point where it's more fascinating to watch the systems in Hitman than it is in Breath of the Wild, because even the homing suitcase is really funny. I don't know if you guys saw the homing suitcase thing, but
No.
it was like a bug in one of the first games, and then they made it unlockable in the new games. It's just really funny.
What's the name of the group that does that Hitman thing? Because, like, see, I would be fine watching it. I just don't want to play.
Giant Bomb. They've been around forever. They only do it at Christmas time though.
Okay.
So, they also did a series called Mario Party, where they played through all of the Mario. They played through 50 turns of every Mario Party game.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Oh my God!
And,
oh my God! Are they're all still friends?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because the one guy that puts the show on loves Mario Party, and everybody else hates it, and he makes everybody play it with him for 50 turns. And like the entire time, you just see like a lot of the Mario Party stuff is behind their paid content wall, but the first episode is free. Like that's what they do. They release the first episode of their series for free, and then if you want more, you can buy their premium subscription, which is like $50 a year, I think. But yeah, it's really funny.
Jeez,
it's so funny. Mario Party is my favorite thing to watch while I'm like falling asleep or working on stuff. So
I have to check that out.
It's so funny. I love Mario Party. I think it's because I like Mario Party and nobody else likes Mario Party.
I'm not a fan. The only Mario Party game I have any respect for is Super Mario Party on the Switch.
We need to get LeRon in on a Mario Party stream at some point.
Yeah, I would pay to see that.
Yeah.
I would like to participate, actually.
Yeah. Well, you're going to participate, and we're going to drag LeRon through it, and it'll be funny.
All right.
You think?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think I know. It's good content.
Well,
as they say on the internet.
Well, I guess that's kind of it. It's a brief topic. I remember being super frustrated in the beginning, but I've actually kind of learned to love stealth segments as long as it's done well and consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the major thing for like genres that aren't super popular is like, yeah, you kind of lean away from it, but if you get something that's done right and done well, then it's, you'll bite. So, well, I guess it's my topic now, huh?
Ooh.
So,
super curious.
Yeah, mine's not really a gaming topic. It's more of like a life topic.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said at the top of the show, I recently quit my job to start a new one, and unless it's something that I'm doing myself, right? Like something that I'm working on myself or doing like a side job for myself or whatever, like this is only the third job I've ever quit. And it was like, it's always really weird when I quit a job because like you make friends with people that you work with, and I know like I'm moving on to something better for me and my family, and now it's like a potential career path now instead of just like a job. But have you ever, like, when you quit a job, have you ever like thought about the people that you're leaving, especially people that you've made friends with?
Oh yeah.
And if like you're ever gonna like keep in touch or be friends still, or kind of talk to ever again. Just because like it for me, like I said, this is only like the third major job I've ever quit to move on to something else, and it's always weird because like the last job I worked, I only keep in touch with like 2 people that I worked with, and I worked there for 11 years. So I just didn't know if you guys ever like stayed in touch with people that you worked with in the past.
I have for as long as I could. Like I eventually, like the last job I had before I wound up with the IT company I work for, that I've been an employee with for the last 8 years. was GameStop. Like I was a full-time employee at GameStop. I was in management and stuff like that. And after I was terminated from GameStop, like I tried to keep in touch with a lot of the people that you know, like I had like built like friendships and relationships with, you know, throughout that time. But eventually, like we all just kind of like lost track of each other and stuff like that. Like nobody. I think there's only one. As a matter of fact, there's only one person that has been at GameStop when I started that's still there, and that's the only person that I actually have contact with because he's my old boss, and basically he's on the path to retirement with the company at this point.
That's.
Wow, I really like that topic. You know, not counting the odds and ends jobs that I had as a teenager, I've only been with two companies, and the second company I'm still with them. So the previous, I will say, is a retail pharmacy chain that I worked there as an intern before I graduated, and then as a pharmacist after I graduated. And as much as I struggled through the job, it was the people that kept me going. We were great friends. We would hang out after work, and you know, because you spend most of your time at work. So I just was lucky enough to develop really close relationships with them. And then when I quit, I was able to stay in touch with most of them. But, you know, I don't know if it's just people outgrow each other, but I don't really stay in touch. Like, I know we're connected on Facebook and stuff like that, but we just don't talk so much anymore. It does make me sad, and that's more of a life thing. But I know people go their own ways, and I don't hold anything against them. And with my new job, our company is combining with another company, and people are leaving. I'll leave it there. If you know what I'm saying, people are leaving.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of struggling a little bit, especially with my department, about staying in touch with these people. I kind of don't want to make quote unquote the same mistake as my last job, but I don't know if I have much control over it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a weird process. Like, not only am I leaving people that I've been kind of friends with for, you know, a couple of years now, but like going into a new job where I don't know anybody. This is the other thing too, is like the last couple jobs that I started, like going in, I at least knew like one or two people. So I had that, like, I don't know, like that anchor to like lean on a little bit when I just didn't know anybody, you know. But now I'm going into a place where like I don't know anybody, you know. Like I've met them and talked to them and stuff, and everybody seems like really nice, and I'm really excited. It's just like, for me, it's weird that I just don't have that like one piece of familiarity to grab onto, you know. And it's weird because like I actually feel like for the first time ever, I feel like an adult, you know. We
get your big boy pants on.
Well, that's the thing. I don't have big boy pants. I have to go buy some. 'Cause my wife and I are gonna go shopping like this weekend or next week or whatever. Because like the last couple jobs, like I managed a restaurant, so I wore shorts in the kitchen. Like, and then this past job, like, was like I worked at a car dealership, and we all just had like this same polo shirts and khaki pants, right? Like it wasn't like,
hey, I have a recommendation for you as far as like really like comfortable pants and whatnot.
Yeah.
And something you can basically wear all freaking day and stuff. It's 1,000 Miles. That's the name of the company. Like I'm actually wearing a pair of their shorts right now. And they have chino pants. And hang on a second. I mean, like, you know, like, hey, maybe somebody from 1,000 Miles is listening, you know, like they may pick us up for a sponsorship because I actually like their clothes. All right, so it's called the All Day Chino Pants, right? And let's see, they run for they are a little pricey. I will say that they are a little pricey. They're $75 a pair, but honestly, because the shorts I'm wearing, like I bought a 2-pack of the shorts, and they were like $68. But let's see. They're water and stain resistant. Like you don't have to worry about ironing them. Like they're that good. They have a 4-way stretch, so you know, like if you're gaining weight, or you're one of those people that are always in like doing like precarious, in precarious positions around the office or whatnot. They stretch. They're stretchable, and they quick dry. So
are you working in?
I'm an IT. I'm an IT guy. I'm on top of desks. I'm under desks. I'm in not crawl spaces, but you get the gist. Like I guarantee you, people walk in their office and see me under their desk and like bent over like on all fours.
Sounds like
their
a
desk,
setup for your OnlyFans.
or for after dark. Yeah, but yeah, I'll send you a link, and I think there's actually I might actually have like a couple of promo codes from when I made a couple of purchases.
Cool.
But
yeah,
but here's the link for the actual
stuff.
Oh, you're looking on the website right now?
Yep.
Yeah, they've got men's and women's stuff. Yeah, and trust me, like they're like the shorts the shorts that I'm wearing are called the shorts that I'm wearing, they're called the all day shorts. I'm wearing the Elite all day shorts, and I also have a pair of the all day pants, which, it's a game changer. Like it's like I can really like bum around in these. I need to buy a second pair, but I'm waiting for the other color to come in my size.
Listen, there is nothing more important than a comfortable set of pants because, as a woman, if I'm out, I'll actually wear dresses as long as weather permits. And people are like, oh, why are you all dressed up? Oh, nice dress. I'm like, the reason why I wear dresses? I wear dresses so when I eat, I feel like there's nothing pressing against my stomach. And it's just free. It has nothing to do with wanting to look pretty or feminine. I can sit and eat comfortably.
Damn, Corey. I wish we had options like that where we could eat without nothing like mashing our stomach in.
I know. But we are large men, so I mean we just don't get that option.
Exactly. It's like our pants let us know when we've eaten too much.
I mean, even when you haven't eaten all day, they let you know if you've eaten too much sometimes. So
oh man.
But I don't know. I wanted to I mean, I know it's not like an exciting topic or anything, but like sometimes people, if they're switching jobs or switching careers, it can be kind of scary or challenging, and just kind of wanted to get it out there and talk about it a little bit. So
no, absolutely.
It is,
especially
LeRon.
when you're going into a
Thank you.
Try not to laugh.
I'm trying to do this podcast, okay? Just leave me alone.
LeRon's like that kid who's writing notes and passing them. Even
I know.
Okay. For everybody who's listening right now, like I just wrote in our private chat that Corey's voice is getting progressively rougher and rougher. His voice is actually cracked like 4 different times.
Dude, it's actually way better than it was at work today. When I was at work today, it was like non-existent. It sounded like I smoked 5 packs of cigarettes a day for 50 years. And like you get the old lady voice. LeRon, this is your mother. I need you to go down to the store and get me some smokes and some Slim Jims and some big bag of Doritos.
Oh my god! A big bag of Doritos sounds amazing right now.
I mean, yeah, it does. I had to finally busted out some water, so maybe that'll fix some of the issue. But sorry, guys. This throat thing is just not cooperating. It's fine.
Fine. Just a little honey. Add a little honey to the water.
Yeah. So we do have a topic from the audience to get a 4th topic in here, or we can just kind of end it here if you want. It doesn't matter. Let's see. Where is the topic? Jacob Galitrad.
Hey, you.
Where's it at? I missed it. Somebody have it up because I can't find it.
You didn't send a doc.
I didn't. You're right. I didn't. It was tweeted at us.
Oh.
So hold on. I'm gonna find it. Somebody.
I'm just saying, bro.
Somebody rant while I find this.
So, Stephanie, what's the next game on your list for what's the next game on your list after you move on past Metroid?
I mean, I'm currently also, I feel like I'm playing one game per system. I'm still working through Ghost of Tsushima on PlayStation. But I'll tell you what's really challenging is I went probably a week and a half of not playing it because I got into the medium on my Xbox. And I don't think it's a good game for me to step away from because I totally forgot like the combo and combat moves. So I was getting my ass kicked by all the raiders, which stinks. I'm like, it's clearly my fault. It's not the game's fault because I stepped away and I forgot all the moves. I'm playing the medium on Xbox. I don't normally like horror games, but I'm forcing myself to experience one, so it's not bad. But honestly, the next kind of game will be Guardians of the Galaxy because I pre-ordered that one. It's coming out later in October, so once that comes out, I'm hoping I'm at least done with Dread, and that'll be the next game that I hit up.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the next game is going to be for me because I got like a running backlog of games I'm actively trying to play. Like right now, like I still got Canon Bridge of Spirits that I gotta get through, and I'm upset at myself because I should have beat that by now so I could have had a review up on that one. And I've got Tales of Arise, and I've got that Unmetal game that I told you all about last week.
Oh yeah.
There's Metroid and the Monster Hunter Rise demo just dropped on the PC today.
Because you haven't played enough of that this year.
Fall.
Yep.
But now it's at 4K and 60 frames a second.
Mm-hmm.
No,
it's faster than 60 frames. Like it's.
Well, okay, nerd. I found the questions to the topic.
Goody.
So we have two actually. So we're gonna kind of rapid fire this, and then we'll get out of here. Galatrad, Jacob Taylor from Nintendo Power Block and twitch.tv/Galatrad. Go follow him. He's great. He says, what's a game that shook the whole industry, but you didn't care about it at all?
Ooh.
I think mine was Modern Warfare 2.
Wait, Modern Warfare? I don't think Modern Warfare 2 shook the whole industry. I think Modern Warfare 1 shook the industry a lot harder than 2 did.
Well, I think people were surprised at how good Modern Warfare 1 was. That when Modern Warfare 2 was announced, people were so excited and so ready to play the second one. And like to me, that is like, because to me, like the ultimate launch for me personally was Halo 3. Like I stood in line. There was probably like 100 people standing in line for Halo 3 at a midnight launch at GameStop, right? That to me was exciting. But like Modern Warfare 2, like I could have cared less. And I still feel like Modern Warfare 2 was the bigger game ultimately over Halo 3. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I get you. Well, you guys have heard me say this quite a few different podcasts that I've been on for Boss Rush. Definitely Ocarina of Time.
It hurts, but okay.
It hurt. It hurt me that I couldn't latch on to it. It really hurt because I really tried, but
it hurt me. It hurt me in a way that made me feel really stupid, and for that game will always be mediocre.
Yeah, I mean, oh no, I guess I just wasn't in a place that I was ready for like Link to have voices. Sure as hell could not stand the little butterfly thing always screaming at you. And
Navi at this point is not even the worst. Navi at this point isn't even the worst one.
Yeah, I think it's Tingle now, right?
No, I think it's Fee. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, but no, that actually stunted my. I feel like I can say this. It stunted my growth with The Legend of Zelda because like I was doing pretty good with Zelda games until the 64 games came out because of the distaste I had for Ocarina of Time. I never gave Majora's Mask a fair shake. And then further iterations of the more 3D style Zelda games just have not latched onto me. I did enjoy Wind Waker. I did enjoy that.
I feel like like as revolutionary as those 3D Zelda game, like the 64 Zelda games were, right? The same way that Mario 64 was super revolutionary. I don't think that those games aged particularly well. They definitely didn't age as well as something like Wind Waker, or for me, like Twilight Princess, right? Like I feel like they were. I think it's Final Fantasy VII syndrome too, right? Where like if you didn't play it when it came out and you played it after the following games that came out, like it just doesn't have the same effect for you as it did when it came out, right? Like because like I've played and finished Majora's Mask before I beat Ocarina of Time, and this is a terrible story, and I know I feel really stupid, but when I first played Ocarina of Time, I didn't know you could go back in time, so I didn't know how to finish the game.
Hey, you volunteered that information. We weren't going to say anything.
So for Ocarina of Time, you did not know that you had to manipulate time.
Yeah, because like I was dumb. It was also like I had never played A Link to the Past or like any Zelda game. Like the only Zelda game up to that point that I'd ever played was Link's Awakening, and like I didn't even know like what the purpose of Zelda was up to that point because I just wasn't playing Zelda. I was playing Mario and Ninja Turtles, and I was a Genesis kid, so I was playing like Rocket Knight Adventures and Jurassic Park and all these weird games that probably still aren't very good, but I was 7, 8 years old and I didn't know any better.
Yeah, so when you hear it like that, that makes perfect sense, honestly.
Yeah. So like when I was playing Ocarina of Time, I thought the game was great at the time until I like when I don't know what to do in a game, I get really frustrated and like there's obviously no
controllers.
No, yeah. God, I went through so many 360 controllers. But like there's no internet at the time to look it up. At least, I mean there was, but there wasn't like it wasn't fast. Like there was, I think IGN was like the at its infancy, right? And it didn't have any wikis or anything like it does now. So like I didn't know what to do, so I stopped playing, and I was really frustrated because I was actually really enjoying the game. And then I played Majora's Mask and I loved it. I loved Majora's Mask for some reason. I just like it clicked with me, and so I rented Majora's Mask, and then after I rented it, I went out and bought Majora's Mask and the strategy guide to Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask at the same time. And you should see my Ocarina of Time strategy guide now. It's like shredded. It's shredded because I used it so much to find all the heart pieces, find all the secrets and collectibles and stuff, because there's a big thing in the back of the guide where it's like, here's where all the heart pieces are. And then, Ocarina of Time just left a bad taste in my mouth because it made me feel stupid and I didn't like it. But I think a lot of games in that era, and even into the early PS2 and GameCube era, like those games just didn't age well because some people didn't know how to use a second stick as a camera, right? Like they were still experimenting with that.
Oh yeah.
There was no universal like shooting mechanics where like obviously the triggers are your shooting mechanics, right? And obviously the X button is jump. Like they were still experimenting with all these weird control schemes, and like I mean, look at the Nintendo 64 controller. That thing is just whoever designed that was like really high or something one day, and they're just like, what if we gave it 3 prongs and 1 stick, and there's a D-pad on here, but I don't think any game uses it.
Question. Speaking of the Nintendo 64 controller, was it just? Am I the only person that like that freaking analog stick gave like the worst freaking callus?
No, it did. On your thumbs, like on your thumb, like right here, or like when you're playing Mario Party, the big blister that you would get here because you had to do the spinning game. Yeah. To the point where like Nintendo would mail people who bought the game gloves. Anybody still have their Mario Party glove? It's just me.
I heard about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just think certain games, I just think certain games just haven't aged as well, or like if you're not, because even at the time, like I still wasn't like into games the way we are now, right? Like I was reading Nintendo Power, but like I was waiting for like Ken Griffey Jr. baseball sequel to come out, and Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey, and 1080 snowboarding. Like those were the games that I liked to play at that time. And like, yeah, Mario 64 was super fun and revolutionary, and I love Super Mario 64. But then I would move on to like Mario Kart and Mario Golf and Mario Tennis. And like Zelda didn't even become one of my favorite franchises until probably when Wind Waker came out, to be honest with you. Like I was, when Wind Waker came out, it was one of those games that I just was, and to be fair, I was just like everybody else who like hated the art direction. I wanted like a dark Majora's Mask-esque sequel in that art style, especially after the Space World demo they showed where Link was fighting Ganon and like this really sophisticated looking art style at the time. And it was like, wow, this is awesome. Which that art style ended up going into Twilight Princess, and now everybody thinks Wind Waker is better than Twilight Princess, and the rest is history. But like when I played Wind Waker, I was like really enamored with what the game was trying to do and how different it was. Because it was just so different than anything that we had played before, especially for that series. So,
well, I will say this, because Ocarina of Time is my personal, just when I say favorite game, it's not because I think it's the best game. It's just literally a personal thing. So even someone who personally loves Ocarina of Time to death, I definitely can understand that. Although at its time, like with Mario 64, it just revolutionized many things.
Yeah.
So just moving from 2D to 3D, stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you, when I hop back into that, I'm like, it's a little tough. It's a little cringy. Very bumpy rides. That's why, once I got over the nostalgia sickness that overcame me when I learned that Nintendo 64 games were coming to Nintendo Switch Online, which I still probably will pay for. But now that I think about it, I'm like, how often am I going to want to go back to these N64 games? Because they really, like you said, Corey, they're probably like the worst, as far as age-wise. I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, like when the Mario 3D All-Star Collection came out, I was really excited because like I'm not a 3D Mario guy, but Mario 64 is like one of my favorite games of all time, right? Like, again, goes back to that thing. I'm not a 3D platformer guy, but Mario 64 was so revolutionary and did everything right at the time that it was like, it's definitely still sits atop of like one of my favorite games of all time. But when I went back to play it, I was like, man, this game could really use some sort of like quality of life improvements, like the camera or just some of the physics that are, different. And granted, I had just come off of playing like what was some of Mario Odyssey or like New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe or whatever, and like the physics are really different, and maybe I just was used to those physics or whatever, but I just feel like some of these games could use quality of life improvements. Like the 3DS versions of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are great. I wish they would put those games on Switch at some point because they did a lot of quality of life improvements.
Yeah, I really wish we had gotten the 3DS version of Mario 64.
Well, there's 30 extra stars. There's different characters, right? There's unique abilities. Like there's just different things.
The camera was better.
Yeah. So I don't know. We didn't really answer the question, but it was a great discussion.
Well, you did because
yeah. I said Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
For me, you guys are gonna hate me for this, but I just could not get into. But I know it revolutionized gaming. Was all the Grand Theft Autos, the Grand Theft Auto franchise. I just didn't get.
I don't care for Grand Theft Auto either. I don't.
Okay.
Well, but Grand Theft Auto Grand Theft Auto reinvented itself like twice, like because it reinvented itself when GTA 3 came out, and then it reinvented itself again when GTA 5 came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I know they kind of were one of the early iterations of what it meant to be an open world game.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to be thankful that they're there. That's what kind of gave birth to like all these other amazing open world games. But just I don't know if I'll ever go and revisit the franchise. I know they're releasing that trilogy or the 3 games for their anniversary, but
Yeah. I mean, like, it's for me, it's like, it's the Final Fantasy VII syndrome again. It's like, I understand what it did for gaming. I understand what it did for that genre. And, like, open worlds would be totally different than what they would, what they would have been without Grand Theft Auto, right? Like, I feel like Grand Theft Auto did the open world game the way that nobody else did. But, like, you go back to those games and, like, they're super rough, and it's back to, like, there's no universal control scheme, right? So, like, X is shoot and square is jump and, left trigger is sprint. Like, they're still trying to figure out everything, and, like, those are the types of things that, like, if they change some things with this new trilogy or whatever, and it's getting decent reviews and stuff, it's like, okay, maybe I'll give it a shot. But, like, the best thing about that trilogy of Grand Theft Auto games is Vice City soundtrack is, like, the only good thing about those games for me, which is very good, by the way. Remember that big box set they sold that was like 40 discs?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so good.
They weren't messing around with that soundtrack.
No. See, children, before Spotify existed, we used to get music on these things called CDs.
Oh
yeah,
man.
Like music used to exist on a physical platform.
Yeah. Before that, cassette tapes. All right. Our last question here. This will be a quick one. What is your spiciest gaming hot take? Oh, Jesus.
Ooh.
Spiciest gaming hot take?
Oh my gosh. I think I've let enough of my hot takes out on these shows. There are plenty of games that people, like, consider masterpieces that I just don't like. I just don't like. Like, BioShock is a game that I just don't like. The Last of Us is a game that I just don't like.
My spiciest game take is it's gotta be it's a toss up between is Mario Kart trash or is Kingdom Hearts trash?
What? No.
You shut your dirty mouth.
I
sir.
feel like I have more affinity for Kingdom Hearts, even though Stephanie, you and I supposed to be collabing on a Kingdom Hearts broke my heart.
It's happening.
Editorial. Yeah, but man, Mario Kart just makes my blood boil just thinking about it sometimes.
Man, Mario Kart 8 is like it's like the most perfect racing game of all time.
You want to be disinvited from my house? Bring a copy of Mario Kart into my house.
I will. I'll bring it. Kingdom Hearts, though.
It'll be like the Lost Boys when it was like, you're no longer invited to my house. I removed my invitation, and they flew out the door.
Kingdom Hearts, though, is a series that's like another series that was awesome at the time and didn't age well, right? Like, even Kingdom Hearts 3 still feels like it feels like a well-produced PS2 game. As much as I love seeing Sora and the Disney characters, and as excited as I am that Sora's in Smash Brothers, because I called it 2 years ago, and I'm very excited that I did that. I will never let that go. I think Kingdom Hearts is one of those franchises that, like, it's a hardcore fan game now, right? It's a game that's made for its fans, and that's about it at this point. There's no easy jumping on point for Kingdom Hearts anymore. So,
I will say this. I like me Mario Kart, but one of the major Nintendo franchises that I did like one iteration of it, and then after that I don't know, I just thought it was overrated. This is all people are going to start hating me now. I'm afraid to say it.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm just not the biggest fan of Super Smash Brothers. Is that bad?
Hey,
I don't hate it.
We can high five.
I don't think
that's you and me isolated on an island.
I don't think that's
our thoughts are one.
I don't think that's the spiciest take, though. I think, like, for me, I'm not the biggest fan of Smash Brothers either, But like, I think what it does, what it's doing, what especially Ultimate is really important and really cool to bring all of these video game characters together in one space, and they created a game around it that's like mind-blowingly impossible how balanced that game is.
Oh yeah, I would say since the one I originally was the one from the N64, but this recent one, the Ultimate, like I do have a lot of respect for that because you're right, they are doing something that you don't really get to see. It's kind of like a Nintendo gamers like fantasy to see all these types in under one game. But I kind of more meant just like the hype it gets like every time it gets released on the next generation console, like when it was on GameCube, when it was on Wii or whatever. So like just in general, not counting kind of what Sakurai did this time. And the reason why I was cringing and terrified of saying it is because, and again, I am a Nintendo fan at heart. I also know that Nintendo fans can be very, 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 very fiercely protective of their franchises.
Oh yeah, like I learned that lesson every week in the main chat.
I know, so I'm sorry. Forgive me.
No,
actually, I feel like I dropped the mother of hot takes earlier this week.
What was your
we're just gonna talk about the naughtiness that happened around Metroid, but without actually like saying any sources or anything like that, you know.
Yeah.
But basically, I feel like one of the things I try to do in all these conversations, I try to play devil's advocate. Like there's always two sides of it, and whenever I see the pendulum swinging the most one way, I always try to like bring it back to, at least to the center for the most part. And
I think that's something that, as a group, you know, overall, I think we do pretty well is seeing both sides of it. Where like, I think we see a lot of the video game industry kind of always lean one direction and never come back to the other side. The video game industry, when it comes to the consumer side, like it's so polarized. Yeah,
like it's real
nobody's willing to have the discussion or talk about different opinions or whatever. And I think that it's important that we do that, you know. And okay, so Stephanie doesn't like Smash Brothers. That doesn't make her a horrible person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't make her a prime target. You know?
Or you know,
it's not like you know Stephanie says she hates dog people or something. You know, dog lovers or something like that. You know,
like it's just like, you know, how many times have I gotten hate for saying that I don't like The Last of Us? Right? Like sorry, I don't like.
Do you get hate though? Do you?
I used to, like when that game first, like I would say when we were when Ed and I were podcasting with our old group, and people would write in and message me, like when we were talking about like popular games we don't like or whatever, Last of Us always came up for me. And it was like people would like tell me I shouldn't be talking about video games because I didn't like The Last of Us. And I'm sure from this episode,
this is what I just don't understand.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I'm sure from this episode, someone's gonna at least one or two people will DM me or tweet at me and say that, right? Like, but I don't care. I'm not here to be.
Oh,
like I'm not here for that.
It's been a long time since I've done this, but I invite you guys to jump in my DMs if you have something to say about this stuff. Yeah. We will have a conversation. We will have a conversation if you want to have a conversation. But if you just want to sit there and yell at me and argue,
then when you call them out, they'll block you and then they won't respond, right? Like, and then you'll get, you know, that's just the nature of what we're doing.
It's the cowardly part of gaming that always does that crap. Or they do something really heinous, like like they call in for a swatting, because they're getting their ass dogged out, in CS:GO or something.
Yeah, and it's like I don't need to have the same opinions as everybody else, and like it's why I stopped listening to a lot of gaming podcasts. It's like I'm just listening to the same opinions, just with like different people behind it, And it's like I don't need this. I don't want this. I only listen to like 2 or 3 gaming podcasts now, when I used to listen to probably like 20, but it's just like, as I've been doing this and as I've met different people and, made friends with different people, it's like, I want to have different conversations. I want to have new conversations. I want to have, okay, LeRon loves Monster Hunter but doesn't like Ocarina of Time, right? Like, or doesn't think Ocarina of Time is like the greatest game ever. Who cares? Like, who cares? Let's have a fun conversation about like we did tonight.
Oh,
Exactly. I mean, no one.
oh, and by the way,
sorry.
no, I was gonna say, and by the way, like I like all other people, like when we have something we dislike, like sometimes our words can seem kind of harsh and stuff like that, but it's nothing personal unless I turn around and say, Stephanie, you are a stupid person for liking this or that, like then you can take it personal. But if all I said is, why do you like this game, or I don't understand why you like this game, there's nothing to take personal about it. Yeah. If anything, me asking the question why gives you a chance to help me understand.
Yeah.
But people don't always see it like that. People don't see like the overture that you're making to start the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just the simple fact, LeRon, that you said you just didn't get into Ocarina of Time, and I openly said that is like my personal favorite game ever. Did the world end? No. Nothing happened.
No, like God, like I've been playing Monster Hunter since it was basically a concept, and like I don't really give people a hard time because they've either played it and didn't like it, or they just don't want to play it. I don't like I have my fun doing it, and that's what it is at the end of the day. If you have your fun doing something that somebody else doesn't like, whatever.
Yeah, and like I mean, I think what's important too is like. We've all come together because of our love of video games, but what makes us unique is the type of games that we play and the types of games that we like. And I think that that's what makes us as a whole unique is like we have a lot of different people involved with Boss Rush that are, Stephanie, you said you bought your first Xbox this year, right? Like that's awesome. Like I've been playing Xbox since the very first one, but like I'm not going to call you like a poser or a hater because you bought your first one. I think that's exciting. I think the more people who play games and play what they want to play creates more unique conversations and better conversations. And, I know I hate on LeRon for playing PC games all the time, but like LeRon's really like our only PC guy. And I think you bring a unique perspective that way, it's just, I don't know. I like what we do here a lot, and it's real. Like even over the last 2 years, it's really changed my perspective on like what people like about the video game industry right now, and like what I think we want the video game industry to be, and we're kind of taking and making our own path through there with these types of conversations too.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to the tribalism in video games that I brought up. If you're being a gatekeeper, the only thing you're hurting is yourself and your favorite franchise or your favorite product, whether that's Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. That's when you gatekeeper, like you're actually hurting the product you love the most, because instead of actually trying to expand horizons and stuff, or if anything, like help perpetuating the sales of whatever you love, like all you're doing is turning more and more people off to it with like the negativity and the overabundance of criticism. Like people there are people that can take a lot of criticism before they hit a breaking point. There are some people that can't take any criticism at all. But normally, And the way you basically frame anything is the number one way to either help your thing flourish or help it die on the vine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, does anybody else have anything else to say about this topic?
Leave it to Galatrad to bring a freaking passion topic.
Oh no, this was.
Oh, it wasn't Galatrad?
No, this was Aaron Domingo's.
Okay.
So he.
Thanks.
I thought because Galatrad knows how to poke too.
I know he
thought
does.
This is what it is.
No, I know he does. It's fun. So, thank you guys for writing in. Remember, you can tweet at us at Boss Rush Network or email us at bossrushnetwork@gmail.com. I think that's gonna wrap this episode. LeRon, Stephanie, I appreciate your time tonight. It was very fun.
Oh, it's always a pleasure.
We appreciate your time, and please feel better soon.
Yeah,
I know.
Look, I don't have another show till Sunday, so it's fine.
Do you have to work tomorrow?
I do. I have to work.
Crap. I was gonna say make yourself a hot toddy with like some of the strongest Jack Daniels, some lemon, some honey, and some ginger.
No, I work Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So
I was gonna say take care of that voice. I remember when I first started listening to Boss Rush, and I didn't put the faces to the name, but I remember like Corey's voice. I'm like, he has a good broadcaster's voice.
I do.
So yeah, I was like, oh, that guy sounds cool. So make sure you take care of yourself.
I sound cool.
Yeah, you sound cool. Remember, that's different than you are cool, but you sound cool. No, I'm just kidding.
It's fair. It's fair.
This is always a fun show. I enjoy it. I'm so glad it's back.
I know, me too. I think we've finally found a good rhythm for this show.
Yeah,
and people are liking it.
Hey,
so
have you noticed the trend of the podcast this week? Every single podcast this week is at 3 people.
I know. I think 3 people is kind of like a sweet spot. And like 4 is good, right? But I think like 3 people sometimes is just like a good sweet spot.
Yeah.
So anyways, I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. You can catch the show on Mondays on podcast services everywhere. If you listen on iTunes, remember to leave us a nice review and a 5-star rating. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a subscribe and a like and a share. Share with your friends. We'd appreciate it. Stephanie, where can we find you?
You can find my articles on bossrush.net, along with many other very talented writers, both in video games and entertainment. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at Klimov, KLIMOV_author, where I am now tweeting out snapshots of Metroid Dread because that's all I like to do right now.
Hey, keep them coming.
LeRon, where can we find you?
You can find me everywhere as Exodus803, EXODUS803. That's my social media. So Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, even though I don't TikTok, social media. Exodus803 is the one. My Twitch channel and also my YouTube channels, Exodus803. Can't go wrong with that. And my gamer tag is Exodus803. So see, I got it all covered. Like, it took me a long time to get it all under one umbrella because, God, I had to fight for the YouTube one.
Real quick, when do you think you'll be streaming Dead Space again? Because this time I want to actually check it out on my computer, because when I tried streaming from my phone, that's when I had problems.
Okay, I will probably be streaming. I'll probably be back to streaming it tomorrow because hell or high water, like I need to finish Metroid. So, yeah, because tomorrow's the 14th of October, and I'm only in chapter 3 of Dead Space 1. So I have a lot. It's going to move faster as soon as I get to Dead Space 2. I can tell you that right now. Like, because Dead Space 1 is the game that just traumatized me out of the entire trilogy. So you can even see it like when I play. Like, I don't just like run everywhere. I just kind of like walk. Oh, a door opens and I'll point the gun automatically. Yeah, but it'll be like a switch has been flipped as soon as we get to Dead Space 2.
All right.
You can find me at I am Corey in HD on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast. You can find me on Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast, and occasionally on Nintendo Power Block. So you can find all of our shows on bossrush.net, along with our reviews and articles and Boss Rush banters and everything else. Please support our writing team. They're doing a fantastic job over on our website, bossrush.net. I really appreciate all the hard work everybody's doing over there. It really means a lot. So it means a lot that you guys listen to the show. So I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. And until next week, we love you. Goodbye.
Take care.